Sutton United visit Eastleigh in the Blue Square South. Will everything be all white for Winchester in the Wessex Premier League? And in ice hockey, can the Basingstoke Bison ground the Slough Jets? Hello and welcome to the first sports week of 2012. This week we start with football and Eastleigh hosted Sutton United at the weekend. Without a win in their last 4 league games, their playoff dream was slowly fading. Dale Gornell went to see if they could reignite their promotion hopes.
Teams this afternoon.
Eastleigh have been very busy in the transfer window and their lineup featured a host of new faces when they came up against Sutton United this weekend.
Number 4, Craig Dundas.
The wintry conditions threatened the match prior to kick-off, but the Silver Lake welcomed a crowd of around 1,000 people. And the home side were almost behind early when Mitchell Nelson headed narrowly over his own bar. New signing Bradley Bubb was creating problems down the right end of the pitch though, engineering space in the box and getting a shot away, much to the frustration of Sutton boss Paul Doswell. Despite warnings, the Sutton defence let Bubb slip off their radar once more, this time Bubb making no mistake.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal scorer for Eastleigh, number 8!
Eastleigh had failed to win in their last 4 league games and were almost pegged back before the break when Craig Watkins stole a yard only to see his volley turn around the post. Despite the poor state of the pitch, Eastleigh doubled their lead after the break. Again, Bubb given too much room in the box. Sutton are looking good to finish in a playoff position this year, and Riviere was unlucky to see his cheeky chip cleared off the line, with Dovey blocking Craig Dundas' follow-up. With Sutton looking to reduce the deficit, holes were left in their defence, leaving Bubb one-on-one to slot home for his hat-trick. This only Bubb's 3rd game for the Spitfires. Shortly after, Bubb came off to a standing ovation, manager Ian Baird showing his appreciation for the new signing's efforts. Eastleigh and their new talents weren't done there though, this time Damien Scannell passing home after some great wing play from Jamie Brown and McMahon. Sutton went in search for a consolation, but it wasn't to be. After the game, hat-trick hero Bubb was full of confidence.
Yeah, it's a massive confidence booster. Like, come here, wanted to score goals, didn't score my first 2. So I thought today, I felt like I was going to score a goal. And luckily I got 3.
Now to the Blue Square Premier. And Edward Watson from Leeds Metropolitan University went to watch Stockport County against Kidderminster Harriers. Stockport has suffered back-to-back relegations after financial difficulties and find themselves in another relegation battle this year.
Stockport and Kidderminster have had contrasting seasons so far. Stockport find themselves in a relegation battle and came into this one with no wins in 4. Kidderminster, however, were in the hunt for the playoffs and had lost just once in their last 15 games. And it was the Agborough outfit who had the first opportunity, but Stockport keeper Ian Ormson was equal to Lee Hendry's effort in the opening minute of the match. But it was County who opened the scoring. Sean McConville latched onto Tom Elliott's flick on and knocked a composed finish past Tony Breeden in the Kidderminster net. Kidderminster suffered another blow when right-back Tom Sharp had to be taken off injured. With regular full-back Lee Vaughan already out, midfielder Dave Hankin was forced to fill in at right-back. Stockport added a second on the 55-minute mark, and Danny Rowe's 25-yard effort beat Breeden at his near post. But Kidderminster weren't to be beaten without a fight. and within 30 seconds of the restart, Nick Wright's deflected effort pulled one back. And they continued to push for an equaliser, Lee Hendry putting their best opportunity over the bar. But it was Stockport who had the best opportunity late on. John Nolan failed to beat Breeden in stoppage time, but it didn't matter though, as the score remained 2-1.
Winchester City took on Laverstock and Ford in the Wessex Premier League on Saturday, and a win for the citizens would see them stretch their lead at the top of the table. Aaron Summers was at the game.
Winchester City were hoping to increase their lead at the top of the table in the Wessex Premier League. The citizens faced Laverstock and Ford at the Denplan City ground. Hoping to stretch the winning form to 6 wins out of 7, Winchester had the chance to score from the spot in the 20th minute. Laverstock's captain Dan Marks was adjudged to have fouled Chris Mason. Jamie White made no mistake from 12 yards. Any repeats of the 4-1 victory for the citizens last time out between the two sides were soon to become likely, as Adam Roberts volleyed in with a fine volley. Winchester were dominating all areas of the pitch, and the task ahead for Laverstock looked even more difficult when Adam Pearson dramatically put the ball into the back of his own net. With the teams heading into the break, it was apparent that Laverstock would be unlikely to record their first win in 7 games. However, Winchester were given an early scare in the second half when Conor McCarthy brought down Ormond. Craig Hayward scored from the spot. With Laverstock pushing forward, Winchester hit them on the counter-attack. Smeaton, with acres of space on the right-hand side, was able to set up Jamie White to score his second goal of the game. The best was still to come from White. Matt Wilshire pulled off a magnificent save from Dominic Allen before White thundered in the rebound. 4 goals for Winchester, 3 goals for White, and the rout was completed when the talisman striker neatly slotted the ball past Wilshire to add to his tally of 28 goals in 14 games. In the end, it was Winchester who recorded a resounding 6-1 victory and added pressure on second-place Bermonton Heath Harlequins. Aaron Summers for Winchester News Online.
Winchester City will face Eastleigh in the semi-finals of the Hampshire Senior Cup. The draw was made on Saturday and also drew Havant and Waterlooville against AFC Totton or AFC Portchester, depending on who wins the quarter-final between the two sides. The ties are to be played on the 13th and 14th of March. Basingstoke Town Football Club have announced that their plans to move to a new stadium have been welcomed by almost 2/3 of the community. 64% of those who filled in a questionnaire about the move were in favour of the new location, with 31% largely opposed and 5% saying that they were undecided. 236 residents have submitted their views to the football club, who currently play their games at the Camrose Stadium. Finally, in ice hockey, the Basingstoke Bison played second-place Slough Jets, needing a win to close the gap on the leaders. Henry Lewin-Titt saw the action.
Basingstoke Bison welcomed the high-flying second-place Slough Jets to the Planetice Arena, hoping to gain some momentum coming into the later stages of the season. The Jets started off best and opened the scoring when Darius Pilskalkas fired past the Bison netminder. But the scores were levelled shortly after when Joe Miller squeezed this shot in from an acute angle. The second period saw Bison go behind again when Ryan Watt scored from close range. But they didn't stay behind for long when Daniel Volrab's shot found its way past Slough's netminder. The Jets retook the lead when Pilskalkas scored, again finding the net from range. The Bison found a reply near the end of the period when Redmond fired home. Ryan Watt gave Slough the lead again with this cool finish, and he had the celebration to match. The Bison weren't going to be beaten easily though, and this well-placed bullet shot from Marcel Petran evened the scores and sent the game into overtime. Neither team could find a winner, so the game was to be decided on penalties. Bronneman calmly scored the first penalty for the Bison. Davis found the net with the first penalty for the Jets. Player coach Steve Morrow is up next and scored low into the corner. Darius Pilskalkas was denied by the Bison netminder wall. Joey Miller's shot went high over the goal. Ryan Watt took the third penalty for the Jets and this time Stephen Wall came out on top, winning the shootout and giving the Bison a 5-4 victory. Henry Lewington for Winchester News Online.
That's all for this week, but for more award-winning news, features and sport, log on to www.winol.co.uk. Thank you and goodbye.